I said I wasn't coming back to talk about this season anymore because I was just thoroughly outdone. And with everything else going on, I said, do I have time for these maladapted people? But after watching this latest set of episodes, y'all, I had to come back, family, and we have to talk Married at First Sight, season 20. What is this, episodes 13 through 15? Yeah. We got to get to it because there's no way this man continues to be an embarrassment when you laid your life on the line for him. If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley. This is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all the things TV and movie related. Y'all know I'm here to put you on. And we are back again to talk Married at First Sight, season 20, episodes 13 through 15. And things happened. All right. Things happened that we need to talk about. People played. I just want to say, honorable mention, maybe MVP of these episodes to me was Adam. Big shocker. Big surprise. But when I tell you he came through delivering truths, I even had to get on Sean's team for 1.3 seconds because he spoke some truth too in these later episodes. But you know how we do it. We'll go couple by couple and then we'll talk about group settings and all of those things. But let's get right into it. And let's start with the couple that did what they needed to do this episode, and that was Courtney's raggedy ass and Nick, because Courtney is just the personification of exhaustion. Do you know what I'm saying? She is the most terrible, the most mean woman that I've seen on Married at First Sight history, I fear. Even the Whore of Babylon doesn't compete with Courtney. Courtney was so nasty, so rude at every second, at every moment throughout this entire process, y'all. I don't know. I don't understand why she was even here as long as she was. And the fact that Nick just completely abandoned really the process in himself within it, I get it. Because let's be completely honest about this. Can we be honest with each other? Are we all friends and family here? I hope so. If she was a man, if she was Nick, they crucified her. On the social medias, baby, on the actual episode, they would have dug in her behind. Every scene that we saw with them this entire time, she dropped 18 F bombs, just cussing him out at every single turn. And you know what I'm saying? It comes to a point where it just begins to be too much because keep them F's to yourself, sister, and pack your raggedy duffel bag and leave. She's always saying about what I need, what I deserve, what I should be getting. And you don't exhibit any of the traits that you're asking for, sister. You don't. You have been miserable, little, and mean this entire time, and good riddance to bad rubbish. So finally, we get to the group session with everybody there. And it's really at this point, are y'all gonna or get off the pot at this point? She starts cussing him out in front of everybody. And when I tell you no one came to his defense, no one said, let me check this hoe real quick. Nobody, not an expert, not Paul, not Dr. Lisa. They said, let her go. And as the heifer left, Dr. Lisa gonna hug her and say, you were so brave, you're so good, you're so strong. Are we watching the same thing? She literally verbally abused him at every point and every turn, in my opinion, and just really got off without any sort of pushback. She went off on Devon at one point. She's just a live wire. And I'm like, just get her out of there. So they ultimately decided this is not a go. Nick said if he stayed, it would really only be to really further understand himself more and not so much for the relationship. They go outside. And my thing is, Nick, run away with your good edit and go on to the next reality TV show. But they want to sit and talk. And she proceeds to drop some more F bombs. So now you want to cry now, Nick? Leave. Exhibited to me full grace, full compassion, full all of the things in this situation. And I wish Nick nothing but the best. Moving on over here to the next couple, let's talk Michelle and Cameron. And right now at this point in the phase, really he's having a crisis, right? In terms of, is this real? This is his first relationship, his first long-term relationship or serious relationship of his life. And so he's wondering, will the thrill be gone tomorrow? Will you still love me in the morning, right? Will you call when you say you will? And Michelle is right there to reassure him because, again, as I've stated before, I don't dislike Michelle. What I'm waiting for with Michelle is for her true self to finally emerge. Everything that we've seen from her up to this point, to me, has been in the service of this marriage, in the service of Cameron, which is fine because I believe in marriage you are to serve one another. And Cameron has finally come around, but I really sometimes question if we're getting to know who Michelle truly is. And so at this point, he's just wondering if it's real, if this is what it's supposed to feel like. Will I still be in love tomorrow? And she, again, is waylaying all of those concerns. Baby, don't worry about that. It's good. I know you're my person. You should know you're mine too. But really, she is unscathed by any of this, by any of his concerns, his qualms, his doubts. What I will say, I'm not mad at him having concerns or doubts. Again, this is his first real relationship. I think it's normal in any relationship to just make sure that you guys are on the same page and all of those things. I think if both people are willing to make it work, y'all will make it work. We do get to meet Michelle's auntie and uncle. They go to visit them, and that goes really well. She says that her family, her friends, everybody loves him. They think he's the best man that she's ever dated, ever been with. And again, this is her forever. This is her person. And for him, she's it as well. They are just as happy as can be. Again, I will get into their couple things individually and we'll cover all of that. Next, let's go on over here to Adam and Marissa. And Marissa is having a conversation with her friends in episode 13, I believe. And they're in the house and they're just talking. And she's like, because he got up here and was acting like he needs a fitness partner, a sports teammate, rather than me, and it's exhausting and it's too much for me. And what we learned from her friends is that throughout her life, Marissa has been and tried to conform and tried to bend to the needs and the wills and the wants of others. And they're just afraid that she's going to succumb to that with Adam, right? In this relationship, that his desires are going to supersede what it is that she really wants. I'm proud of Marissa. I feel like she's been telling a lot of truths. I still think she is holding back because she does have this fear that Adam will walk out on her, and I believe that's true as well. If you remember my first discussion about this, I told y'all that I think their relationship will be fine as long as she is willing to completely acquiesce to his wants and desires. Anything outside of that, I don't know how much he's going for it. I still don't necessarily think he takes this process very seriously. And later on, we'll get into their couple stuff and him getting called out around the family and the introductions and all of that. There's just something so artificial and superficial about their connection. It's been that way since day one. I feel like Marissa is trying to push through on it and trying to get past it with him and really figure out where they fit in each other's lives. But I think every time she starts that and really has a complaint about this 25-hour work week that it'll be playing pickleball with him, he brings up his ex. Ocho thinks I'm pretty. Listen, that's what it was very much giving. And she battling with comparison and perfection and all of those things in her past is where we're cutting into this issue. Now, my thing with the experts, and Paul has been in the DMs and he's like, I love your coverage of this, and I think you're gonna love this season. And Paul, I like you so far. But my question with you and Dr. Lisa is, why would you connect these two together? I feel like Marissa needed a Devon. Marissa could have even dealt with a Nick. But I think Adam, because his personality is so gregarious, I guess I'll call it, and he doesn't give that he's willing to bend and compromise. I hear what his mouth says, but to me, it just never connects fully. And I think knowing that she's so malleable and bendable and struggled with trying to conform in the past, that to match them up, it just to me, it just seems wrong. But again, she's over there. She feels like his needs are ultimately fickle and unserious, and he thinks this is a serious need. He said, I've had it before. I want it in my future. I would love to look back 20 years ago and challenge our pickleball rivals. And again, at the end of the day, what percentage of pickleball is your life, buddy? You're talking about a marriage, a wife, getting to know her, getting to know what she needs, what she wants, what she desires. And then when kids get involved, what do you think this is going to be? And at one point, Cameron even tells him, when y'all have kids, you don't have time for all that pickleball. Again, this is what he wants. Ocho Cinco thinks he's pretty, and that's where he's going with it. Again, I don't see it for this couple. I see it only as long as Marissa is willing to bend, and I think she's finally getting the ick. At one point, he does ask her, "Is there anything about me that gives you the ick?" and vice versa. And he says, "No, about you, Marissa, there's nothing about you that gives me the ick. I just wish you were more active." Again, she's in great shape. I don't know how much having a pickleball partner means at the end of the thing. It's very petty, very small. But she says to him, sir, as he's eating the steak with his fingers and sucking it off the damn bone, I hate when you eat with your fingers. Stop it. It utterly gives her the ick. I think she's getting disgusted. I think she's getting fed up. But where will that go? I don't know. But I ultimately don't see it for them. Another couple that I don't see it for at all whatsoever, and that is Devon and Caitlyn. They out on this date. They've let tempers cool since the ride back home, since the last outing, where basically he told the truth about what he's been experiencing with her. And my concern about their whole dynamic is I feel Devin changing who he is just to even be in the room with Caitlyn. And my thing is, Caitlyn, that much of a prize that you need to do all these things to alter who you are. Right? I think I know, and a lot of people have mixed emotions around Devin. Some people say he's a stage 5 clinger. Some people are saying that he's gaslighting her about things, that he's being pushy, that he wants access to her body. I get that he just wants to be loved. He's got a history of abandonment, rejection. I think he's giving her all of the things he wish he could get in return. And again, this is the woman 3 days into knowing him that said she needed time away. She needed time to herself. I don't think this was a person who wanted to be married at first sight, who really wanted a true marriage. I think this is a person who maybe just wanted to be on TV for some reason. I don't understand. I honestly don't know. Or maybe she was in love with the idea of it and was relating it to all of the toxic relationships she said in the past had in the past, because that's how we meet her on the show. She basically talks about how she's been in every toxic type of relationship imaginable and she was ready for something different. I think Devin is bringing that something different, but I think that it's foreign to her based on her past. Again, Caitlyn is not my favorite person on here. I think she's been nasty. I think she's been rude. I think she and Courtney are neck and neck. She's not as Courtney was, but I really feel like they're on the same thing. I think Devin with the Harry Potter night and really trying, and her even acknowledging he's the kindest, nicest man that she's ever been with. He's been trying and doing all of these things. I think she doesn't like being called out on her bad behavior. And so when he brings it up, especially in group settings or when he's asked, he's been trying to tell the truth, but every time he tells the truth, she comes after it. And so now we have him in this position in these later group settings where, yeah, I'm just not gonna say everything kind of I'm feeling just so I don't piss her off. And I don't think that makes for a good relationship. I just think he wants time. He's trying to compromise. Well, like you get off at this time and you fall asleep at this time. Can we cuddle on the couch? She's like, I can sit over here and put my leg on you from over there, but outside of that, it's not going anywhere. I just think they're so different. I think he's affectionate. I think she's not. I think he wants a relationship with a partner who's really into him. And I just don't think that she is. Again, I'll say it again. I really feel as though she got the ick from Devin very early on. I think her friend group didn't help with that. And I don't think she's able to see beyond any of that. We do, by the end of, I think, the last episode, have a sit down with her dad, and Devin's there. And I really always liked the idea of Devin finding a father in Caitlyn's father, but now seeing how she acts, I don't know if that will ever be a thing. But in this conversation, even dad has to hold her accountable. Like, yeah, you need to work on that. And also, Devin, there's things that you're going to want to have to do with her that you may not like to do, but you're going to do it because you love her and you want to spend time with her. And again, that's not their issue. Devin wants to spend time with her. She don't want to spend no time with him. I know people don't like her dad either, but I'm not mad at her dad. It is what it is, and I don't know what he's been through with her. So can't judge him for how he was at the very, very beginning in terms of the wedding and not walking her down the aisle. That's just what their dynamic is. I just don't think the two of them can give each other what they need. She wants space and to basically be alone, and he wants a partner, and I just don't think that they're giving that. Again, for this couple, I don't see it at all. Let's go over here to Tori and damn Felipe. We know that Felipe showed his ass in the last set of episodes. He didn't tell her privately. He got in front of that group and said, listen, I want the coochie of many colors. I love it. And I don't know if I can be a one woman man forever. And my thing is, sir, you're not getting that much coot nanny. I don't believe it. Unless you're paying for it, sugar, I don't believe you're getting all of that Courtney, Felipe. You're not gonna make me believe it. Who's giving it to you? Is it family money? Like, are you buying a little something along with some other things? Because the way you look disheveled and out of your head half of these episodes this week, buddy, I don't know what you got going on. Anyway, we see Tori. She's in there cooking dinner. They're cat sitting for Felipe's parents, this three-legged hairless cat, which whatever. He's talking to her sister on the phone and putting her sister up on game. Like, he got out here and he showed his ass about XYZ. Sissy's like, oh, hell no. Because who the hell does he think he is? Does he know who you are? Like, where are we going here? And again, I was like, Tori, tell the truth, shame the devil. He doesn't know what he wants. And Tori said, listen, I'm not in the Build-A-Bear business. You want hoes or you don't. I have nothing to do with that. That's completely on you. Later, Felipe comes in like, I choose you. You just had a momentary weakness. And my thing is, if I'm Tori, I'm still shutting down because I don't believe you. I don't trust you. First of all, the fact that you decided to do that in front of the group instead of pull me to the side and say, hey, I'm having some second thoughts. Like, this is a lot for me. I love being single. I love the coochie of many colors. Then say that over there, but you decided to get in front of all of these people and basically try to humble her. I don't know if it's because she knows now that you have this micro peen allegedly, because I still say one of the only reasons a woman is going to run out of the room after smashing or getting cracked is because it was awful. It was trash. And a lot of times it's trash, I feel, with the micropene. I don't know if that man got it. This is all allegedly and in my mind, but I'm just saying that's what it feels like to me. I think he tried to humble her in front of that group and then tried to make amends and backtrack, talking about, are we in a good place? She said, hell no, we're not in a good place. Because I don't know where you stand. I came here looking for a real man. And I got you, who doesn't know what they want to do from day to day. Again, he looked disheveled. He looked bereft. I don't know what's going on with Felipe. I don't know what he's into. I don't know what he be doing all hours of the day and night. But Tori, I need you to run. She's checked out, in my opinion, and believes that he's using this as a form of manipulation. I think he's playing with her. And I agree. And we'll get into the group setting and what the experts think about that. But that's my opinion. I think he's playing games. You're playing games. Now, as far as Nikki and Sean, honey, baby, the miraculous happened. And I couldn't help but be disgusted by it. I was trying, y'all. I really tried. But ever since last week, Sean got up there and played, and somebody got in my comments on Instagram and said, I'm a man hater. And I said, baby, you must be new here. Because a real man, I love him. But you would never get in that lady's face and gaslight her and say you didn't say what we all heard you say. And he made a public apology. Said it was Chat GPT apology on Instagram, but he did say, hey, I did imply wifely duties included pleasing your man and pleasing me and the mutual touching of it all last episode. But now we're breaking past that. They are talking about finances, honey, and how he could see them putting their money together and getting a home. And my girl, keep your bank account separate. We don't know what this man has. I want to see the tax return. What happened to the days of Married at First Sight where we put all of the finances on the table and went through bank statements and went through tax returns? That's where I'm trying to be with it, sir, because I don't, after seeing your abode, I question if any of her requests were filled. I'm just sitting it right there, but maybe one of them was, baby, because after all of those things happen, they're kissing kind of heavy, and broke down the barriers of intimacy. They're talking about finances, planning for the future. Next thing I know, they go into the room and I see him come out ding-a-ling swinging in the wind. They got to blur it out. Oh, you confident in that meat, huh? Came out there swinging and thinging, and all I could think is, does his ball smell? Because we know he don't like the Lever 2000. He don't like it. He don't like Lever 3000. He don't like the soap. And so all I was questioning, now they said she came out giggling. All right, we are definitely sexually compatible. And I said, oh, he ate that box. Mm-hmm. What happened? He did a good job, and he might have some beefcake. Listen, because she said we are definitely sexually compatible. I said, definitely sexually compatible? He came out smiling, like I said, like he wanted to shake that thing. Just blowing in the wind with that robe he puts on after he takes his wash ups, his whole baths, his bird baths. But they both came out looking satisfied, child. They married. The marriage bed is undefiled, and I ain't got no words, but I was lightweight disgusted. She seemed well pleased. Again, they was kissing all in the mouth. The intimacy border has shifted. And listen, they both seemed satisfied, and I'ma set it right there. Now let's go over here to Belle and Mecca. And this was another one. The lady said, "I'm beginning to think you don't like men." I'm gonna put the comment in here. Um, show me a real man, I'll love him. All right. But like I said, my shorts, if you're on the socials, I published shorts last week for the review for the episodes. And I said, Belle Jolie is standing 10 toes down for him, right? Like, I ride for him. I'll go to war for it. That's what it's giving, right? But would he do the same for her? That was the question I posed last week. And after this week, hell no, he wouldn't. Because he takes every opportunity and chance to embarrass you. For one step forward, again, we taking 20 steps back because it was Belle's birthday. He plans this really beautiful setup. He has multiple gifts for her. I think he bought her a bag. He did all the things, had the decorations. They're sharing their traumas. And this is the moment I was like, okay, let me give Mecca some grace because to find out that he was 13 years old, still wetting the bed, spoke to me of really deep rooted trauma. A lot of times when you find children who are bedwetting at that age, it's trauma induced. Like it fear, a lot of times it's SA, but it can be other traumas that they've been through. He said he would just do that at the thought of getting a whooping from his father and how his father kind of, and again, parenting is so important. You can literally break someone before they're even built. And I feel like he is at such a disadvantage because of his upbringing. And he says he talks about how he was jealous of his brother and sister because his stepmom, when she left, she took her kids and they had cell phones and they had friends and they were able to hang out. And he was just there with his dad. And he says he knows his dad today would say, "Listen, I raised you how I wanted to raise you, and that was it." But you can still tell he still has some pain around that. He is truly damaged from what we can see. And I'm not a mental health professional, but I hope a mental health professional chimes in and lets us know all about Mecca because there's something so broken there and it's sad and it's really unfortunate. However, it's not a justification to treat Belle how she's been treated, in my opinion. Now she's riding for him, all of that, the birthday thing cemented, like, "Oh, he really cares for me." And they get into conversations around love, and it feels like he takes every opportunity to say, "Nah, I'm not there yet." Like, I like you. Like, if it was decision day, I would say, "Yeah." But about the extent of it, we also hear a little bit about Belle Jolie's childhood, and she said they were so poor that they bathed in buckets, they ate toothpaste as a meal. I was like, this is some real trauma that they're commiserating on. And kind of concern is that we can like ourselves and other people's brokenness sometimes, and we can create a relationship and a link that way, but it's not healthy whatsoever. And my concern is that she's coming into this picture almost as if she's his savior. And I think living up to that isn't healthy. I don't think ultimately that it's going to serve her. You know what I mean? Because this is not reciprocity, in my opinion, at all. He seeks validation, in her words and whatever else it is, the things that she does. He always wants to know how you feel about me. Do you think I look good? Do you think this? But when it's time to reciprocate that, yeah, I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And we'll get into the group setting because Mecca really pissed me off. Again, as far as this, no, I don't see it. Don't want to see it. Honestly, I just think he needs really work through a lot of things before he'd be ready for a relationship with someone like Belle Jolie. And I think Belle Jolie is very well adjusted for everything that she's been through. And of course, therapy helps, couples therapy, but also working through some of that stuff. She talks about how in past relationships, she has been the one to give, and she was looking at this relationship to have someone really to be like the stronger person. Unfortunately, that's not what she got her. Let's get into these first group session, right? We find out Caitlyn is a Swiftie, and am I surprised? I'm not. Again, Courtney and Nick go first. I kind of this first, and they ultimately decide to leave the process, but not before she cusses them out in front of everybody, and no one checks her. Very aggravating. Next, we get to Nikki and Sean. And Nikki said that she's an empath, and seeing what happened with Nick and Courtney was just a lot for her to deal with. Um, says he feels like a puzzle piece is missing. He really wants to talk to her mom and her family and her friends and really get another side of Nikki. And Nikki says, listen, I wasn't ready for that. And this is what pissed me off, Dr. Lisa. Because after Courtney showed her ass and you gave her a hug and a pat on the back, when Nikki said, I wasn't ready to bring him around my family, you immediately tried to put your foot on her neck. And I don't like that. Don't apply that pressure to Nikki. If Nikki don't want that man to sit up under her mama, she ain't got to have him sit up under her mama. If she don't know yet, and that's her business. She's doing more than a lot of these people would have ever done, in my opinion. She's doing way more the hell than I would have done. He's talking about he wants Monday night showers together, Tuesday night tantric yoga, Thursday nights, whatever. He wants a full content calendar of the ways that they're going to work on intimacy. And she's like, listen, I don't want anything formulaic or spread out like that or scheduled or pre-planned. I want things to evolve organically. I want them to happen naturally. She says finally, you know, I think I'm ready now. Like, we've had some intimacy. I won't tell you all my business, but we got comfortable. We are compatible in that way. And so now I feel like I may be ready to let him in a little bit more. And they're, pleased about that. And he seems shocked as well. Next, we get over to Tori and Felipe, and she calls him out about his emotional manipulation. And they say, make room for the fact that this isn't manipulation, but this is him expressing himself. And it's confusing because it's confusing to everybody else. My girl Tori is on it, in my opinion. Felipe still wants coochies of many colors, in my opinion. And Paul tells him, you're half-assing. And this is when Paul stood up. Because he said, what you're not going to do, Felipe, is get disrespectful with me because this ain't what you want. Felipe had to step back. Like, he was getting kind of at it. Like, do you want Tori? Yeah, I do. He's like, that's half-assed. That's not like a real response. We need to know that you're invested. She needs to know that you're invested. And my thing is, are we going to go to fisticuffs? I'm not mad, but he went inward. He retreated, of course, because I don't like how I was talked to. I don't like how I was treated. And she's not defending me. Hell no. And I wouldn't defend your ass either, buddy. You deserved all that you were getting there. And you get to Mecca and Beljalee. And again, Belle says she's chosen Mecca, but when it gets to Mecca choosing her, it's hesitancy. And he's like, if I had to make the choice, I would choose her. We would get married if it was today, or we would stay married if it was today. I would choose her, but it's not like hell yeah. My thing is, why the hell is it not hell yeah? She deserves a hell yeah. I don't like that. Again, every time it seems he's trying to minimize his output. And it really feels like to me, his daddy done sat up and been like, son, you never never want a woman more than the woman wants you. Like, you know what I mean? It seemed like some old archaic BS like that that's been instilled in him because I don't understand it. Beljalee is the best thing that could have ever happened to him. And he takes every opportunity to be an embarrassment. Next, we get to Adam and Marissa, and his sister's coming into town, which was a shock to her. So she will meet some of the family. He says he's excited about how everything's going, and Marissa is giving her pause because he has concerns around their communication. The fact that he didn't know that Marissa's friends, side eyeing him. The fact that he planned for his sister to meet Marissa and Marissa had no idea, and that it's just information lapses that shouldn't be when they live together and they're together all the time. Just really concerned, right, about what's going on, and are they on different pages in this relationship as far as where they stand? Adam thinks it's perfection. Marissa's not there. Next, we go to Michelle and Cameron, and again, questioning if this is real, if am I really in love? Is this lasting? All of that. Her friends are obsessed with him. Paul says you got to keep falling in love. Apparently, Dr. Lisa and Dr. Paul have been married both for 20 plus years, and so they have experience in marriage at least. And then finally, we get to Devon and Caitlyn, and during the group therapy session, she said that she's opened up to him about her past relationship trauma and abuse, and he's reassured her, and that makes her feel better. I don't believe it. If you really felt that way and were like, "Oh, he's doing the best he can do. He's the best guy ever," your actions would show something different. So now, the end of episode 15, we get to the final group dinner, and everyone has concerns about everyone. Adam basically says, this whole side of the table, y'all don't even need to be here because it's trash. Y'all should have never been married in the first place. Adam is so dismissive. We're in this group setting that he takes another opportunity to say, you should have met my ex-girlfriend. And the experts are watching from behind the curtain talking about, well, if she was all that, why is she your ex? She's your ex for a reason. I think that's a form of manipulation in terms of getting Marissa to bend and try to be something that she's not. And that's crazy. So at this point, Sean is sitting there looking at him and basically is like, Adam, you use vibe and chill and all of these adjectives, and they're very lazy. That's a person who doesn't have a large vocabulary or has a low EQ, emotional intelligence quotient, right? And so he's like, are you trying to call me stupid? It gets into this real thing. And in the confessional, Adam is like, I know his old ass ain't over here trying to tell me nothing about myself when he and Nikki can't even get right. They've been fighting over dumb stuff at their big ages. It's embarrassing. He said, I wouldn't talk like this, except he came for me. So now everything is on the table. And that's exactly what happened. And now, like I said, do I like Adam? No. But was he the MVP at this dinner? He absolutely was. Because after Sean set him off, baby, I'm calling all of y'all out. He said, Sean and Nikki, I don't believe y'all. One minute she can't stand to look at you. The next minute y'all are hunching in the closet like hell. No, he said, I don't believe it. Michelle chimes in. She's like, I don't believe it either. Mecca chimes his ass in talking about, I don't believe it either. Matter of fact, Nikki, you're not attracted to him. And like, why'd you say it? Because I wasn't attracted to Belle either like that. Belle's like, huh? I get in it. And she looks at him and they're having a little private conversation while the other conversation is going on. Mind you, everybody's like around and says to her, yeah, well, sorry. I was like, oh, she's pretty, but is she pretty enough for me? Like, you can't be serious. As fine as Belle Jolie is, the way and again, that's what I'm saying. They will take every opportunity to embarrass you every single time. Not every man, but men like Mecca will take every opportunity they can to embarrass you. Do you hear me? Embarrass you. Cause that was unsolicited. Cause I wasn't attracted to her. You hold on, you weren't attracted to me? Girl, I mean, he told you it was 60, 150, or whatever the ratios were before. Anyway, we'll get on all of that. Shares about feeling bad all the time and says Michelle took care of him and all of that. And just feeling like, could do better and whatever and all of these things. Saying he's gonna say yes. Of course, Adam again saying he didn't believe it. Said she's holding back all of the physical affection until decision day or whatever. And then the table asked the question, hey, could you be with somebody choose them on decision day that you haven't been intimate with yet? And so we get a myriad of answers around the table. And Devin's like, yeah, more to it than just the sex, right? But then he makes a statement talking about how it's more important that you're compatible and like the same things, because a lot of times when people get in relationships and they just find out they don't like the same things, people go outside of the relationship to get it, right? And that, for whatever reason, pisses her off, and we have to go through this rigmarole, which again, I don't care, Caitlyn. You don't take him seriously. I don't take you seriously. The best part of the night to me, though, was everybody going off on Felipe's ass. Because again, we're asking him again, do you choose Michelle? And they're like, so since yesterday, you don't choose her? Adam says, listen, Tori, you've got everything going for you. Tori, you're a bad girl. You look beautiful. You have a great career. You have a home. You have all of this. What are you dealing with this clown for? I'm like, damn, do you want her? Marissa's even looking like, all right, Adam, like, how you feel? And he was like, why are you dealing with this clown, with this loser? That's bum. And that's what I'm saying too. And now, of course, he feels attacked and all of the things, but Adam's riding everybody. But yeah, get him. Felipe. I think he's wrong as hell, and I think Tori has to make a choice, and I think she's gonna make the right choice. She's so calm, she's so poised. I really respect her for not being reactionary in these moments, but simply telling the truth. You guys, this was the best set of episodes of the season so far for me. It gave what I needed. I think next week, of course, we're getting closer to decision day. We only have 2 more weeks left in terms of the time they have left in the experiment. I don't know how many episodes that'll run over, but you guys drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Sorry this video is so long, honey, but I got to get it out. But let me know your thoughts, okay? Be sure to like, subscribe, do all of the things, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.